Did you know your brain is addicted to its own chemicals? And that might be why you keep choosing the wrong people? This week, I'm sitting down with a survivor of trauma, addiction, and betrayal who broke her generational patterns by learning how her biochemistry was controlling her behavior. If you've ever wondered, am I thinking correctly? You'll need to hear this. Why do all of our stories seem to begin at heartbreak? My guest this week is here to hand you a mirror, to dare you to look deeper and to listen to the voice within, as we discuss how the unconscious patterns, trauma, and biochemistry shape your life. This is a path that's either going to enslave you or set you free. What if the darkest chapters of your life could become someone else's survival guide? I'm Tiffany, survivor, storyteller, and host of True Crime Connections, where we turn pain into power and stories into sparks of hope. Every week, I sit down with someone who's lived through the unimaginable and found the strength to speak out. If you've ever questioned your worth, your reality, or your past, you are not alone here, and today's guest proves it. So I'd like to welcome Jasmina Sabi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for all that context. I really appreciate that. It definitely lets people know, this is where we're going, and you get really good.
Absolutely. This is what you're going to get.
What?
So you've been on one hell of a personal journey.
I understand those words now. Personal journey. I get it now. I thought I was just moving through life. I thought we were all doing the same thing to a degree.
No, we are on different playing fields.
I see that. Yes. I think the fact that you say biochemistry, I don't hold a degree. So I've definitely had people come and why are we talking about this subject? What's going on here? I will say I finally experienced what humans experience, which is heartbreak. It's all different types of way, but I guess the biggest heartbreak is you feel through a trusted partner, trusted family member, just trust people because you feel like they have morals or it's just the right thing to do, or, it's just, I don't know. And I hadn't experienced that because I was avoiding a relationship. I just remember growing up, my life, oh my God, it was so hectic, so chaos, so confusing. I wouldn't have worded it like that a few years ago, but yeah, it was. And I just always remember when my mother was in relationships, I didn't even understand the point of them because we never had enough money. So I was always thinking, why are they cute? That was my thought. I don't even know why I was thinking like that as a kid, but probably because my mom always talks about oh my God, I need help paying my rent. We need to do this. And I feel like that is every single human being is I need to watch what I say and what I do because I need help paying this rent. And I don't know why, but something kicked into me where I just felt like I didn't think it was worth whatever she was putting up. And it felt like by the time she did figure it out, it was 3 or 4 years later. And it was just and then it happened again. And that is what made me not want to be in a relationship because I didn't know what was happening, why she was normalizing it. I didn't know what was normal. I just knew it doesn't feel safe, so I don't get why we're here. And I just kept hearing because we need the money to help pay our rent. And haunted me. I guess it haunted me.
I can see how that could happen because now you're associating love or whatever, but with monetary. You know what I mean? To you, that's what it meant.
Yeah, it was confusing. My grandparents were together. My grandpa had a ranch. It was almost an acre. They had horses, whatever. They didn't look happy. So it was just, this partnership just looks dangerous because grandma and grandpa have this house and have all these horses and stuff, but they don't sleep in the same room. Mom, I don't know what's going on with you. I just didn't see anything that looked healthy. And I remember when I was in high school, oh my God, I fell in love with this guy. He didn't do nothing special. Nothing. He wasn't even my boy. I was one of those people never been kissed. It was like that in the background. I mean, I hung around the popular kids, but it was like I don't know what I didn't have. I didn't have somebody that was high school sweetheart. Okay. And I remember it was the neighborhoods that I grew up in, or I hate to say neighborhoods, so maybe this is just every environment, but they weren't nice. They were bullies, and you felt like you had to save face. And especially if you're with the popular crowd, you just were always trying to keep your composure, I guess. And I remember when I was like, man, I was 16 or 17, and I met this older man. And he looked like he was 40 something. I didn't know that. I thought he was
Oof.
27. Like that makes a difference. Obviously, if somebody hears that today. But I just remember I was like, oh, when he was, I guess, helping me. Like I didn't have to steal from stores to get hair or food or just things like that. Because like I said, I just feel like the way we grew up, my grandma and grandpa helped so much, but I don't know. I didn't know what it was. Why it just felt like it was never enough help to them. And it unfortunately had an environment where I feel like we were more susceptible to what goes on out there if you're not watching your kid. And since she was worried about paying bills and doing this, and so we lived in, I guess, like a gang affiliate neighborhood. I hate to say gang because honestly, where I'm from, if LA were to call that a gang, they would say that was not a gang. And it was like, well, it definitely wasn't nice. Whatever it was, it wasn't nice. I didn't want to be there. Looked like damn movies. Maybe I could say just poverty, I guess, but it was very chaotic and whatnot. And so I did steal, but it was funny because I didn't hear, but my mom unconsciously to her was always like, you're in charge because you got the biggest heart. Everyone listening is seeing it. And I didn't realize I recently heard that was called emotional incest. And I was like, who the hell isn't doing that to me? Because you feel believe like, oh, you can help me out full thanks so much. And I don't know if just as single moms, they just get comforted by it because of help. My mom did have a boyfriend. That's why I never understood the point of relationships. If you need my help, why is he here? Like, and I think that's what a lot of kids are trying to tell their parents. You still need my damn help. Why be here? You still need my help. So I feel like it was like that. But yeah, I definitely felt like I didn't have to rob. It felt nice. It was just so that had a huge impact. Obviously, people would know today. I don't know if they do so much back then of me dating older men because I felt like I wasn't being embarrassed. People weren't going around saying, oh, she did this or did that, making up lies. It was private to me. It was helpful to me. And that's what I saw, that I didn't have to deal with that bully or humiliating feeling that I felt in high school. The money, I guess, I don't feel like it was really the money because I didn't think he did nothing, I guess, super lavish. It was just more so the fact that he cared is what I was saying. Like, don't go and steal that. I want more details about that in my book, but when I got older, I had my son. And I remember it's a story to that. If I go into every detail of everything, this will take 2 hours, but it's in my book. But overall, I remember I found myself in a situation. I was like, oh my God, how do I provide for him? So I lost my job. I took a title loan out of my car and I took out a $1,200 title loan. The interest was $500 a month. I did not know that was I did not know bad deal. That was just the interest, people aren't mean out here. Because why did they let me walk in there, a 19-year-old, and make me feel like I was getting a deal? And it was like, hey, whatever, that's what the world is, money. They didn't care. So I lost
They were
my,
making a commission.
yeah, dude. I will never forget he walked up and slid a $15 coupon on the table when I was trying to figure out if I should do it or not.
A $15 coupon.
I swear, I was looking like that coupon, like, it was like $15, maybe 50 max, okay? I don't really remember, but it was a joke. I ended up doing the loan because I needed the money to get another apartment. And so when I got into my apartment, I was thinking, okay, cool, like me and my son are good. And then I lost my job because I didn't have a reliable babysitter. My family I think everyone can relate that families don't watch your baby the way they want to watch it. And that's like people, I guess it's nice, but it's kind of like, dang, they're not going to listen to nothing I'm saying. But I lost my job. I was in the gym and I saw this ad. We can apply to be an escort. And I was thinking like, yeah, right. They're not going to tell me because they always put no black girls. And I remember I met this one lady whose hair I did, and she was like, man, you make so much money in it. It's so hard to get out of. And that's what was replaying in the back of my mind when I was looking at the second. I was thinking, like, I need the money out. I'm for this. And I replied, and sure as shit, I bumped back. And the guy was straightforward, like, it's extra money. And I was like, okay, whatever. I just need some money. And so I was making money doing that for a while. I go into the rates and everything like that in my book because people are curious, which makes sense, but it's in my book. But overall, I had got to a place where I got into therapy, and my therapist, she helped me realize, like, your background was so traumatic. And I was like, that wasn't normal. And she's like, that's not normal. And I was so confused. I was like, I just didn't understand. Like, if you got upset with somebody, I thought it was normal to like hit them. I didn't know that was normal. And there, look, I said I was a little cry, but I'm just thinking back, like, oh. But I remember when she helped me realize, like, it's probably like huge is the reason why you're doing it. It's the reason why you're in this relationship. It's the reason you're drinking. And I think I had ran across the book, The Body Keeps the Score. And like, oh my God, I just was like, blew my mind. It blew my mind.
It is so crazy how much we don't realize that childhood shapes us. In so many homes, we do think what we're going through is normal. It's not until either you go to someone else's house and they're like, whoa, what the hell's going on over here? Or you grow up and someone's like, well, do you want to know why you're fucked up? X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you're like, no, you're not normal. No, you're not normal. Like, we're pointing at each other was not normal. And then I feel like it gets to the point where, man, I got to figure out fight, flight, fly, or freeze kicks in. And it's very, very important. And basically, after I had realized that I was in therapy, I had met like a Russian friend. It was funny. Psychology is a big thing. She was like, hey, I'm going to give you this vitamin. Don't drink for a weekend. You're going to be healed. And I was like, oh, I'm healed. Just the fact she told me that shit was enough because I had been sober from alcohol for probably 14 years. And it was just her saying that helped me. So I had stopped drinking. I was in therapy. I had been going to therapy for like 3 years. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready for a husband. You know, I was like, I got myself cleaned up. I presentable for the world. And my daughter even told me, like, Mom, you're a regular mom now. And I was like, because I was a functional, you know. And so I had met this guy. And at the time, I was still an escort because once I knew better, I was like, I already got my kids accustomed to this life. And I knew it would do more damage to, okay, who cares? We're starting fresh. 1 bedroom, who cares? We're all going to. I feel like that would have created, from what I had found out so far about childhood be very important to you, it really made me like, okay, I can't just switch that environment. And so I was like, but I need to get myself together before I look for a partner. Because when I was in my early 20s, I was trying to be in a relationship and it just felt controlling. I didn't know why it was happening. I just knew it feels like I can't think or I got to conform. I got to remove myself. That's all I knew. Because like I said, I came from a violent background. And it was like, at some point, I'm going to swing on you because I thought that was normal. And also, I did not know what else to do. I didn't know it was psychological abuse, was emotional abuse, financial abuse. I didn't know all that. All I knew is, feel like probably fuck with me right now, I'm going to hit you. That's all I knew. And so once I felt like I did learn enough healthy things or healthy on myself, I had met an older man with me being in that world. And he was like, well, you know, I wanted to have an arrangement with you. And I was like, I always drifted away from that shit because my friend, she had a sugar daddy, but she always hated seeing. She was like, oh, I never look in the sky. She just would look so fucking miserable. And I was just like, why do you keep wanting to see this person, man? Like, I just didn't understand that. And it was like, because he helps me. And I was like, I don't want to play that game. And I've had some men say, like, hey, I want to take care of you. Then I find out they had a fucking wife. And I'm like, bro, psychological. Because like I said, I always felt like I'm going to hit you. So it was really easy for me to not put myself in those situations because if I get too confused, I'm going to hit you or I'm going to yell and scream or I don't know. I just don't want to feel that. You know, there's no amount of money you could pay to make me suppress that emotion. I think it was maybe just the spirit. I feel like that was telling me things that I didn't know on an educated level. Like if you go out here and play this psychological game with this person, you're going to be angrier with your kids. Like, it was just always some type of consciousness telling me what could happen if I did that. because I always subconsciously studied human behavior, and I'll watch shows like Fatal Attraction because I'm trying to understand like what led up to that, not just the, hey, you shouldn't have did that. I'm like, why is it happening? Is what I'm trying to understand. And people have so many different words for why stuff is happening, but that's why we're going to get to biochemistry in a minute. But so many different words. There, you're possessed. You're great. You're it's like, what is the problem? So many different things. Like you're saying, why somebody responding like this, but why are they responding like this? So when I had met this man who was like, let's have an arrangement, I was like, I said, look, I don't think this is what's work. Because I wanted to be honest with him, like, look, I'm healthy now. I used to be a functional alcoholic. I just always was honest because I felt like it took more energy to this. And I didn't have the impulse control. So, you know, you might catch me at the gym. And I'm like, all right, I did it. Can't get impulse control. So I'm not a good liar. Some people really are. Even I guess if they have, no, I think if they start getting mad, you know, like, okay, you're lying because you're getting super mad. You know, so I can't keep that psychological game going. But anyhow, I actually genuinely started liking him. You know what it was? He listened to me. I remember we went out to eat and he just listened for like almost 3 hours. And I was like, oh my God, he's really interested in what I was saying. And I guess it was an unfamiliar feeling. It felt
It
genuine.
was safe.
Yeah. Safe, like, okay. And he was sexy, but I didn't know that. I thought he was 40 something because he didn't look.
Bro, your ages are just, you are bad at telling ages.
Oh my God. I know when people like look me up, they're like, I'm telling you, I was completely unconscious, I guess. I think I was just completely unconscious. You have more people out there. And that's why I'm trying to bring my story to light because it is going to help people like, hold up. I mean, granted, I feel like today it's so much news like, oh, a 6-year-old shouldn't be with a 30-year-old and so forth. But I don't know. No, actually, I will say my father. There was that different cultural shift. My dad was like, every day I pray you meet a very, very old. He's very rich and he takes care of you and he has no children. And I was like, so I think I thought I pushed it out, but maybe I didn't. Maybe it was subconsciously like put in my head. So I never looked at it as this was bad. Like I didn't look like this guy's age is bad. I didn't look like that. I did have a friend I remember, he told me, like, why do you keep getting with these older men? He was like, if they're alone, then there's something's wrong with them. But I just always felt like I didn't want to take what people said as for sure. And I'm sure that did come from my childhood of never being sure of what was going on. I had to figure things out for myself. So that's still my attitude today. I feel like I'm more self-aware of my surroundings. But overall, I need to see for myself. I can't just go off of what you said or somebody's always going to tell me how to think. And I need to figure it out. If I'm not feeling nothing bad, I'm not going to make myself say that. That's going to cause cancer. That's going to cause psychosis. That's going to cause my hair probably to fall out, and I don't know why. I make it cause so many things. So I kept hearing when you're in that industry, there are tricks. And I never understood that trick. I said, what is trick? Because the thing was, when I didn't have any money, if I saw somebody, they gave me money. And I was thankful because I was like, I need this to pay my rent. I need this to take care of my child. I never looked at them as you should. Why should they just give it to me? And somebody's telling me, well, they feel so stupid about themselves that they have to pay you. So what's happening here? This is a mind-boggling situation now. You want me to look at this person like, oh, they're so stupid for paying me. So you want me to also tell myself I don't deserve somebody to want to help me? Or, well, they're only doing it. It's so many damn reasons of why you should feel horrible about yourself. But a judge wakes up and literally tells people off with your head every single day. And that guy gets more respect from me. You do that every single day for a living around this world, and you do it in God's name, even though that's one of your commandments. But I'm disgusting. So, anyways, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck going on down here. Like, I don't know what's going on down here, but I think I'm just saying things. I don't know if there's somebody out there with me because I'm like, well, I'm confused. But with this man, oh my God, that was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. I didn't even know it could exist. I didn't know what psychological abuse was. I didn't know that being quiet could be a weapon of torture. I did not take him for consideration that he was a 20-year-old vet. He was 20 years and a veteran, 20 years, and I didn't know about that. I didn't know that when he told me his identity became conflicted when he was 5 years old. I had a brother that was much older than him, and the mother, I don't know what she was busy doing. I guess she had 10 kids, so maybe she didn't have so many kids so you could watch them. But it definitely threw off his brain chemistry. I did. And I didn't know how serious that was at the time. So I just said three major things. It's major, but I just felt like I wanted to be a good person. I felt like he didn't experience enough good. And I had friends tell me, like, I can look at him and tell you can get all his money, just make him do this, just make him do that. And I was just like, that's so disgusting. Why do people keep encouraging me to use this man? And they're like, because he's older, he's this, he's that. And I just was like, I don't want to add pain. And I wish he felt the same. So I feel like where the twisting been lit is my therapist, and I say this just for, I guess, context. Well, my therapist is telling me, like, he's quiet. You're not used to somebody being quiet. So you're on this creating chaos. And all that was true. And, you work on this and work on that. And you're not taking him in consideration and so forth. And I feel like the therapist is the bottom of the food chain when it comes to a much bigger problem. And basically, he was interested in me having these specific kinks with him. And at first, I felt like, okay, maybe these kinks are okay. Unfortunately, it could relate to circumstances surrounding P. Diddy's case. I didn't know that. I guess everyone felt like I knew because it looked like you and escort. I was like, what the hell did you guys think I was doing in there? Like, I think they thought I was doing everything under the damn sun. I'm like, no, I don't really like that. Like, so it was like, you know how it is. And I'm like, no, I don't. If it sounds weird or I don't understand it, I'm not participating in it. I don't care what you're giving me. I just never, like, somebody can call me and say, like, hey, it's two of us over here and we got 5,000. I just thought to myself, well, somebody's not going to be happy because what if I want to stop? Now I can't. Now you're going to take the money back? So I just don't put myself in that situation. I'm not going to feel like I have to do something. I think about the whole situation. I don't just see money. And that's very surprising, I'm noticing, with feelings. They're like, you actually took time to think about it? Yes.
But do you see how you got that? I'm telling you, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like your mom subconsciously put that. I truly believe how you edited them that way because that's what you associated it with.
Yeah.
That's what you knew.
Yeah. Well, you just said out loud. I'm like, yeah, because I was thinking, like, I felt like you compromised your dignity all the time, and we didn't even profit enough. And I guess people looked at me like, well, you're in this category, so your dignity is gone. You have none. I did not know that's what people were going to think of me. I was very shocked that that's what they saw. But granted, I learned why. When I wasn't into the kink, because I just felt like it's not coming from a healthy place, especially when I learned more about his childhood, I was like, this isn't healthy. And he felt like, no, it's making me really happy. And I was like, what is not healthy? I was like, it's because of your childhood and so forth. And I was like, you're basically trying to control me to do this because you feel like it's going to happen anyways, or your identity is conflicted because unfortunately what you went through at 5 years old. And the problem was, I don't know, somebody told him, hey, stop, this isn't okay. Let's think about this differently. But nobody listened because he had money. So it was just like, whatever, he got somebody else to do it. And then they would hate him later. So I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm just funny. And then when he became my fiance and stuff, I was like, that's stupid. Like, you need to go get help. Me into therapy. And we got into therapy. Because I was like, it's not coming from a healthy place. I can tell by the way you talk, the way you move, the way you speak. Because I study people. I'm studying you. So I can tell by your tone of voice. I can tell by your smile. I can tell by the way you hold it's an emotion that you were trying to keep up because nobody took care of it when you were a kid. And it really messed me up. Basically, I became pregnant, even though he was like, yeah, let's have one. No, let's not have one. And I really felt love with him, like really in love with him. And I guess when I became pregnant, something happened in his brain and he left. And I had left my fucking house that I had, a good relationship with my landlord with. We moved into a 5-bedroom house and I felt we were happy. And 3 months later, when he found I was pregnant, he left. And he told everybody he was from a domestic violence relationship. And I was like, I mean, I would yell at him, get in his face, like push him, like, you know, and I remember I was telling my friend this and she said, well, something about this domestic violence. I'm like, shut up. No, it isn't. And she was like, the thing is where we come from, we don't think it's domestic violence, it's domestic violence. And I was like, well, shit. That's why people don't realize when they're being violent. I said, I never thought of it. We don't see it as like we're hurting you or scaring you, even if we're yelling and screaming, because it's like you're not bleeding. And that's a big thing growing up. Are you bleeding? I don't know if that's in every other culture, but yeah, it's a big thing growing up. Are you bleeding? You're not? Okay, you're fine. So I guess that just got programmed. And okay, you're not bleeding. So somebody's yelling, screaming. So I was yelling, screaming to the top of my lungs in his face, but I did not think I was scaring him. And my friend's like, well, he's 60 something. And I said, you know what's so fucking funny? If he's scared, why does he keep playing with my head? The fuck? I'm like, if he's scared, why does he keep playing with my fucking head? That doesn't make sense. I said, I've been scared. And trust me, if I'm really scared, I'm not going to keep playing with your head. I'm like, okay, let me stop. But it didn't feel like that was happening. Like he would say things like, I'm done being mad, catch it. Yeah. And I thought, I'm not supposed to respond like this. He's like, you're supposed to just take it and just walk away. And I'm like, take it and walk away. And no, you got the wrong one. And you should know that by the way I talk. I don't know what made you think you could talk to me like that. So anyways, I say that for context. He said he was in a domestic violence situation. A lot of people will say that is domestic violence. I'm not going to lie to you. Pretty educated on it. And it's still a hard pill for me to swallow. That me yelling and screaming in a man's face is domestic violence. I was never taught to even believe something like that growing up. That you could hurt a man's feelings. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. I mean, it's also in the words that you're saying, you know, when you put someone down, you belittle them and all that, that's domestic violence because that's emotional abuse.
I did not know that. I did not know that. I was like, it's so normalized. I would say, I don't know if it's poverty or if it's the black community or whatever, but that always happens. And you just find a way to laugh at it and just move on and all right, whatever. I didn't know, but the thing was, I noticed a difference in him when we got together. The way it felt like is he did everything that I wanted. Okay, let's get in his house. Like I felt like it was just hunting, studying. They always say, "Oh, men are hunters." It's a joke. That's not a joke. Like that's what it felt like. Just what does she want to hear? How can I give her comfort? And it was all because he just wanted me to perform this act to take care of that. I don't know if it was a adrenaline rush or wound that never got healed when he was a kid. And so I would say things like, let's discuss the bill before you give out $1,000. And he's like, I don't want to. I just want to spend it. And I'm like, hold on. Like, it got so uncomfortable. I didn't even want to spend money. Because I was like, I don't know why you're spending like this. It was really confusing to me. And even though he made money, I was like, this isn't normal behavior because I really loved him. So I was thinking down the line, like, people were like, who cares? Go shopping and so forth. I'm like, what, start all over again? I mean, maybe I guess I will at some point, but I didn't think this soon. I'm trying to enjoy him. I want him to be here. And the way he's going, I think he's gonna have a stroke or something's going to happen. And basically my little brother, he was telling me like, he's a trick. And I was like, don't ever say that about him again. He's not a trick. You know, don't talk like that. He's very helpful. He's a nice man. And my brother got mad at me because I don't right told him to leave because I didn't know what was going on with him, but it didn't feel like he was progressing. I was trying to help his child's mother out because she was addicted to opioids. She was sleeping in the car with her baby. And it was the winter time. And I was like, I did not want to help with this baby, but I can't ignore this. So I was taking care of the baby. I was doing so much with my brother, this girl, and Eric. And come to find out, Eric had started a relationship with my brother's child's mother. To my belief, to fulfill that itch. And my brother encouraged the relationship.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh.
And my brother encouraged the relationship from what I've been told. My brother will deny, like, I never encouraged that. Nobody wants to really talk about it. I'm like, I mean, he went so as far as to get the girl an apartment. He knew she couldn't afford, but he knew what type of setup that was. It was going on for like over a year after I found out. Still, I believe, going on. And whenever I was pregnant, and this is the psychological games he plays, even though I'm domestic violence. And I'm not trying to say that isn't domestic violence, but I feel like if somebody's responding in a particular way, it's for a reason. Nobody's just running around screaming and yelling. Something is wrong. Well, it's hard to show psychological abuse. I don't know how you show that, especially when they don't really talk. That's what would be crazy because there's no proof really. You know, unless you're, I guess, in your room and somebody said something, what, you're going to report that really quickly? I mean, I guess you could. That's the new thing now, but literally, who the hell wants to walk around it? Like, come on. And yeah, I just remember when I found out because I was on Instagram and I seen he was following her on Instagram and she was following him. And I was 4 months pregnant. He had left the house. He said he was in a domestic violence relationship. If you're, you know, so, and this was my third child with a different guy. And my kids were 10 and 11. So it was like, I'm about to go through this all over again by myself. And it was just like humiliating. And I'm like, why is he following her? And he was like, you're crazy. And she was messaging me like, look, if you want to watch out from a baby, I don't even appreciate you coming at me like this. Like, and my brother said, what's wrong with you? Like, your mom was just like, what is wrong with her? How could you even think something like that? And I'm like, God, what's wrong with me? But I had got gestational diabetes during my pregnancy. My baby ended up coming early at 34 weeks before it wrapped around her neck 2 times. I mean, I was so stressed with my whole pregnancy because I didn't understand why he left. And it was so many emotions. Like, he left after I got this house with him. It's my third child. And then most of all, he was talking about he was in a domestic violence relationship. And I was just confused. Everything was confusing me. The house, my relationship, who I was, and my domestic violence person. Like, I was really lost. And then when I seen what he did with that girl, I'm like, were you in a domestic violence? So it was just like, what the hell is going on? And that's when I told him he couldn't have felt he was in domestic violence. Why would he do something that close to me? I was like, because I'm thinking about how I grew up in the environment I'm in. And I feel like that's where a big difference is when it just comes to, I guess, the world. Because like where I grew up at, if you really felt scared of somebody, you don't do something where you feel like they could unleash. There was enough danger around people to let you know that somebody can take your life. And so I never experienced somebody feeling like they can just keep, I don't know, dismissing your feelings or disrespecting you, and there's no consequence. That was a huge trouble for me. There's no consequence. They could just keep doing this, and I just have to stand here and take it.
Definitely sounds like a toxic relationship, to say the least.
I mean, it was just, yeah, it definitely was. It was because it was just a lot of different emotions with him and with me. I think that everyone has different emotions. I think people just don't discuss them. They just don't acknowledge their past, or they're busy making it seem like, oh, my life was so great. And I guess everything around the world is literally falling apart because of play. I guess we're all saying that, no, your life isn't great. I don't know what is good down here. Who has a good relationship? What is a good relationship? I can't even tell anymore because I feel like what's just coming out is, for instance, people like, I didn't know that was sexual assault. I didn't know that wasn't normal. And you got all these different relationships that the people like, hey, I experienced that. But it made me dive deeper because I'm just like, what is wrong in people's mind? Because I'm like, how are we just all of a sudden experiencing this and hey, this happened to me and that didn't, like, what is going on? Because when that act happened with him, yes, I could have summed it up to, oh, he was, old. That's what people said. He was old. Of course he did that. Oh, she was on opioids. Oh, this. And I was just like, no, there has to be a deeper issue here because I just can't understand how they could all come together and formulate that type of plan. It's not normal. And people will tell me, well, now you know better, just get away from those type of people. And I'm like, now I know better than nothing. I know that humans are capable of giving you that type of pain. That's what I realized. It might just be in a different way. But that's what I realized, that I didn't want to feel that type of pain again. And there was something I wasn't saying correctly. Because there was a lot of people saying there were so many red flags, and I was just like, I don't want to walk around and feel like this person's bad, that person's bad. I don't want to become them because I don't know if that's really living. That's surviving. That's cautious. That's not life. That's not love. To feel like I got to sit over here with these people and hope that they're not like these people. Turns out they are. I found it. What the? Now you want me to go make breakfast? Like what? No, I was scared of just what the hell was out there, you know? And people were saying, well, it's like hanging around these people. And I'm like, I'm sick of hearing that shit, man. From what I'm seeing in the world, every single category has good and evil. How can I tell what was good and what was evil? I don't know. And I had to still work with this guy. And I couldn't not have my daughter around him because he had no criminal record. He dressed very nice. He was a veteran. There was nothing that screamed, this guy has a problem. There wasn't really anything. And I had to figure out how to talk to him and interact with him. We still had bills and stuff together. He was trying to get me put at the house when I was pregnant. He was trying to use domestic violence as a reason to put me and my kids out and the baby. He made me take their pregnancy tests. He made me take the DNA tests when I was 7 weeks. Then he took another one after the baby was before. It was just like the ultimate humiliation, I felt like. And I kept hearing, you deserved it, because I was in a domestic violence relationship. And I just,
Nobody deserves that. It's just you didn't realize a way to cope with how you were feeling. So it was normal for you to raise your voice and yell and do all these things. You didn't do it intentionally saying, I'm about to abuse you. Like that's not where you were going. But because of the background, you didn't realize that it's just the cycle. That's it.
I didn't. And with him, I didn't realize that was his plan from the beginning. Like, so I feel like that's what separated us. I really didn't have pure intentions when I was with him. He had had his heart broken back in his childhood. And then I think he said he had a relationship where this woman left him because another guy had better sex. So it was like, he was not in that mode of, I'm having pure intentions. Plus, he was older, so he just felt like, okay, what's gonna make me happy my last days, I guess, because the world's a piece of shit, and I'm just going to, I don't know, create this puzzle and live in this puzzle and pretend I'm happy because true love doesn't exist. And I didn't know he felt like that with me. And people, I guess, that it's only 160, of course, he felt like that. But I'm sorry if I'm 34. If a 34-year-old walks up to me and says, I'm going to be your husband someday, how that people hard for me to process. I would just be like, this is a kid. That's what I would, I'm sorry. That's what I would think. Like, but, because it was just like, I don't know. I've dated older men for so long. I was attracted to them. So it's like, I had to reset my whole mind and, and who knows, that could change in the future or whatnot. But I just knew at the end of the day, that's what I was attracted to. And it wasn't because of money. It was just, that's what I felt comfortable with, the older person. And I thought he was 40 something. I had no idea he was 60 something. But overall, the pain was so unbearable. Yeah, I looked up Betrayal trauma. And it was saying that it takes like 4 to 5 years to heal. And that's with perfection. And like, oh my God, I don't have. It's going to take me 5 years to heal with professional help. And I was already going to therapy once a week for the last 5 years. I'm like, how am I going to get in a relationship? I'm going to be paranoid. And then Steven told me like, oh, well, there's a man out there for you. I said, yeah, right. But now he's got to walk on eggshells because I'm like, where'd you go? What are you doing, my kid? I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, how do I continue forward? And that year was the worst year, like the worst pain ever felt in my life because he always knew that when he was with me, it was for specific reasons. And to not share that with me so I could have made a true decision. My God. I guess that's what happens in relationships. I was like, You don't share your true intentions. You just lie. And the fact that I saw that him as a human was capable of lying for, I guess, for a year and a half, I was like, who can pretend for this long? Because I thought I was smart enough to pick it up and to notice. And that's what led me to studying biochemistry on consciousness. Because I was that happy. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not getting played anymore. I'm not going to walk around angry and upset. From looking around, there's no safe place. I need to understand how the human mind operates. And I started studying. I went to college. I started studying psychology. And then I got C minus, so I was financial need. And I was like, oh, bring up that one. But I was like, okay, what do I do in the meantime? And somehow I started studying biochemistry. I was scrolling through Instagram and it was this woman that said instant gratification. I was like, that's the greatness. We're all addicted to instant gratification. I need to research this and bring this to people's attention. And the more I started talking about it, I spoke to a doctor that said, actually, there's 4 different drugs in our brain. I'm like, there's drugs? There's 4? What? I just started learning. I said, everybody's unconsciously addicted to their dopamine because the people that are aware of it, I guess they don't know how to convey the message, or maybe they just feel like, well, we'll just stay over here with people that are balanced, that balance their dopamine. And the people that's literally basically running the world are the ones that are unconscious of it. I have no idea how huge it is. And your decision making and why a childhood upbringing is so important. They tried, the scientists, that's who's running the world, the scientists, they came up with gentle parenting. People started making them joke of it. And everyone, it's just a damn big joke down there. It's a big joke. Everyone's laughing and joking. And there's no way that I can know all this information and not try to wake up. I feel like the whole world. Because wherever my children go, they should feel like that area knows how their damn brain functions. Because who has time to wake up and my child's gone to a place where they don't know how their brain operates. Now they're susceptible to this or susceptible to that. So that pain that I've had in that relationship, I don't know. I think it was so big. I just felt every single pain in the world. And I was like, I'm late to the party because it's been normalized since I'm saying beginning of time. I see movies and everything. What a joke. No wonder you have, I guess, people that say, why? Because everyone's just hurting each other. Because nobody understands why that pain happened, or there's not enough people. There's so many different influences. People sum it up to, oh, because God, oh, they got to stop that. And that shit's some stuff. They keep using, they got to stop this. Like, they keep using God's name to do all this pain, from what I'm saying, down to their judges. Put your hand on the Bible and tell the truth so you can tell them that they're about to die. I felt that you said you can't do that. There's nothing to ground people. And that's where everyone's lost. There's nothing to ground you. I guess if they work out and do this and all that. And I'm just like, man, I was working out. I was eating healthy. I did all that. And people's like, well, maybe you should have tried a 34-year-old. So I wasn't going to get hurt if I did 34, if I was with a 34-year-old. Maybe you should have been with the lawyer. Oh, really? I'm safe there too? Like, see where I'm safe at? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, where is this? You know, because the fact that I went about it, I felt in a healthy way based on my circumstances, and I still felt that pain. And it was a step thing I heard on the radio. They were like, oh, a woman who's an escort, she will never find a man of value. And I was like, well, no wonder people stay in that category and never try to get better. Because you guys keep telling them they never will. So that's why they stay there. That's why they keep doing it. That's why the suicide rate is up. That's mainly why.
That's true.
Yeah.
Society plays a huge role in how people are and how people act. And people don't really understand that. But your actions and your words hurt.
Really?
You hurt people. And people need to take that in accountability because you don't know what these people have been through in your life. Mm-hmm. And most of everybody is controlled by their childhood, whether they want to believe it or not.
Yeah. They are at for just the average fucking comprehension level of a human is 14 years old. I said, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sucks and it's a shame, and it really sucks that nobody figured this out until I'd say maybe the last 10 years or so, when they were like, oh shit, I think there's a connection. And that's why my podcast is True Crime Connections. Do you know why? Because all this shit is connected. It's your childhood. It's what goes on in your mind. It goes on in your relationships. All of it. All connected. That's why you have addiction problems. That's why you have abuse problems. That's why you have self-esteem problems and worth problems. It's all connected.
No, it's all connected. And I guess what will help people see how connected it is talking about science. That's what I came up with. Because I was like, they tried, we all need to walk around and say, I don't think it's working anymore. I don't think that's working anymore. Sorry, your part is problem too. Like, God, not everyone is just super connected. You have to understand what somebody's feeling. And I feel like scientists are trying to come up, but the problem is all these damn wars as well. But it's like everyone has a different style of literally doing, I feel like, the exact same thing. They say they talk about energy. For instance, your child in your house, oh, if they hear you yelling and screaming, that's going to affect them. They can go up and be like this. Okay, well, you have a war going on right here and a war going on over there. So I guess we're in the energy of the house.
Right. I mean, you can't ever expect to not raise your voice in your life. Like, you're asking a lot. But I don't think that's humanly possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I yell just when I get excited. And that's not a bad yell, but Jesus, they can hear me down the street.
I've definitely got to a space where I will say with the yelling, even though things went about it the way it did, I hate when people say I'm glad I went through that because that pain was not, oh my God. It was like, I swear, God came to me and said, hey, you did a lot of great things. Let's do it again. I said, can I talk to you really quickly? Please. Like, it's, because that pain was just, and when I felt that pain, I want to make sure I amplify my voice enough where we could stop sitting little kids down and saying, what's going to happen to you at some point.
Right.
We have to stop teaching that. At some point, you're going to feel that pain. So, oh God.
No, you shouldn't be afraid to put yourself out there and to find love, to make friends. Like, yeah, the world's full of shitty people, but it's also full of a lot of great people. So you can't live in this bubble and try to protect yourself because what you're doing is not living. You're here to live. So everything that you go through is going to put you on a path. Choose wisely and hope that it works out. But there's no guarantee. There is no guarantee in life. Nada. You are not guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. So you gotta make life the best that you can. You can't live in fear, but be open-minded and try to see shit for what it is.
That's where they fail. Nobody's open-minded. Everyone's telling each other how to think. And I'm just like, and nobody wants to be vulnerable because I feel like people are not educated. If people are educated on, I feel like epigenetics and biochemistry, like it was such a normalized conversation. I think you'd have a lot of people that, okay, now I know I did that because you had an unconscious response. They said the brain runs on autopilot 90% of the time. I said, no wonder you have all this time. Who was conscious? Like it's running on autopilot 90% of the time. That's scary. And
yeah, those people are looking for their next fix. So, I mean, they're just looking for how am I going to do it?
They're diving in the ocean with the sharks. That sounds like something that's really lawful for their brain chemistry. You're diving in the ocean, or maybe, I'm sorry, I try to picture myself getting joy from that, and I just can't. That's scary. That's like straight up fear.
Yeah, I don't fuck with sharks.
Yeah, I miss what? You're about to go diving at 8 in the morning. Like, why are you doing that? That's not okay. Like, I'm like, so that's the thing. If like this conversation was something that was normal, like, it make people think like deeper. Like, what's really going on with somebody that they want to go dive in the ocean with the sharks? What is going on with them? You know,
That's adrenaline.
Yeah. Why is your damn adrenaline so high? Like, what is going on then? Like, you know, like, I don't know. And I guess they call it empowering, but I'm just like, I don't know why it's so cool to put yourself in a dangerous situation. And I get empowering, you made it out, but I don't know if that should be my regular routine.
It
You
is,
know,
and it
so
ain't
and
gonna be mine.
I use the status as high as that because somebody that's out there doing that, they got a lot of money. Okay, they do. And I'm just saying that we're so busy looking at the person addicted to opioids as their something's wrong with them. It's like, what about that person out there swimming in the ocean of the sharks? Something's wrong with both of them. You know, they are both putting themselves in danger, just in different ways.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's chasing, was it dopamine, there's cortisol, serotonin, and I know I'm missing one. So all is a dangerous cocktail. Very dangerous cocktail. They
You
all
know,
give off.
but you know, I spoke to a doctor and he was telling me, I told him don't give me no more information because I don't want to take on a doctor's job. I just want to do the opening. But he was telling me, depending on the stress of your environment, your brain could create more receptors or take away receptors. And I was like, so your brain can get filled with more drugs? I was like, oh my God. This was like,
People get addicted to that hit. And so that's why they do the things they're doing, because they're feeling the effects. Like, I know I went through so much crap in my life. My body made a lot of cortisone, and that gave me an autoimmune disease because I was constantly in fight, flight, freeze. So I know that's where mine came from. And it's like, some bitch, this will make you sick. Will make you sick.
oh, it'll make you sick. And I felt like where I need to make a big enough noise about it is because when I was doing the research, I was like, it's going to take more than 5 people knowing, 2 people knowing this information. And I feel like when I look around in the world, I feel like there's so many different things where they're trying to get people's attention. And I feel like, God, I hate to make things about race because it's the biggest damn distraction known to man. But anyways, I feel like Black people, it's the challenge there. It's a challenge there. And I think because I remember how my upbringing was, if somebody tried to walk up to me and talk about, I can't even imagine. I might have sat down and listened, but I'm so busy trying to survive. I'm like, I have to, like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure that out. And I don't know if they have a spokesman for that. Kanye West failed everybody, but I don't know. That's what happens when you don't know how your brain works. He didn't know shit about biochemistry and epigenetics. It takes more than, I'm surprised. It's a, and you said how your goddamn brain is operating, and he doesn't, and that's why they want to give him fifth. I tried to make a video and tag him to just put the bug in his ear, but he's somewhere. Like he listened to me, like, you know, he's busy saying his dog. But anyhow, I think that I believe that that environment or that maybe group of people don't understand how it works. I don't know. Or maybe I think it's the rest of the world as well, like foreigners and stuff like that. I have no idea who has a lot of awareness about this stuff. And yeah, I don't think that there's enough awareness. There just isn't. They do talk about it, but you're using words, different language, I'm going to say. Somebody would say different dialect that people can't comprehend. So they are talking about it. But if somebody said so, second drug in your brain, that's going to make some people turn head. It's like drug in my brain. But it's like the
Yeah.
wording is so different, you know. So somebody can be talking about you like, oh, the poison, you know, sound about fucking happy, unless you're feeling it. I don't know. But I think it just needs to be straight to the point. There's drugs in your brains influencing your behavior. That shit's not like, and I don't know who's saying that. I think rappers are busy rapping. I think actors are busy acting. And I think that the celebrity world, I don't know, they're trying to like talk about this stuff, but I think on, I'll say, for
Oh,
instance,
girl, stay away from them. They're a hot mess.
goddamn brain chemistry is, I don't, I'm just looking like, you know, I just feel like everyone's so busy performing. A woman should perform this. A man
Right.
should, everyone's performing.
I mean, this is out there. It's been out there. The problem is people don't want to look at themselves. In the very beginning of this, I said, we're handing you a mirror to look inside. I'm going to say 80% of people don't want to do that. It's scary in there. And people are afraid to look inside themselves. So it's out there for anyone to find. It's just, do you really want to find what you're going to find?
They don't, and I don't care that they want to find it. You know, like, 'cause there's children around this world that are falling because you don't want to mess up. So I think there needs to be a loud enough bang, and somebody just doesn't need to back down Granted, I keep going viral on Instagram and it's not in a nice way, but I don't care. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, help me. You know, I'm not saying anything that's wrong, but you know what I put on there? Say, you give me your opinion. So I said, hey, Black women, you don't know how to tame Black women. You know, of course, if you go to the other race, like it feels easier because I'm like, that's different environments, you know? And I said, I feel like white men know how to tame mentally. And I think that maybe Black men know how to tame like physically. And I think if you guys can sit down and have a fucking conversation with one another, you guys can help each other out instead of arguing about whose penis is bigger. I can't believe that's a fucking conversation because you can have the energy to be attracted to somebody. I don't feel like they're arguing about the stupidest shit. So I thought that that was fair to say. I think that if Black and white men had a conversation, because the inside will naturally form because Black and white men saw different shades. So I feel like if Black men and white men could have fucking conversation, it would help a lot. But they're so busy about, no, I'm the powerful one. No, I'm the powerful one. What's both of you are trash? That's how I feel. And you're not God. Like everyone's just trying to act like they're God. And it's like, why don't you get to know one another? But anyways, people were actually on Instagram like, can't believe you used the word tame. I said, who the hell isn't acting like the animal? I really can't fathom. Who is not hurting one another mentally, emotionally, physically? Who is not hurting one another? Who is not paying?
sad thing is, it goes both ways, and it sucks. It really sucks. There's no reason why we should hate another person because they look different than we do. Do you want everybody looking like you? No. Having differences makes it interesting. Like, what
What?
first thing I said to you, you look gorgeous. Like, what did you
It
do?
makes it exotic. It makes it exotic. And I think I made a post where I said, it makes people, they're jealous of you. I said, that shit is exotic. You can walk in a room and acknowledge your white side. You can walk in a room and acknowledge your black side. Why is that? Why are we tearing them down for that? And so I said tame because I was just like, when I said tame, I really wasn't thinking like, I didn't think nothing bad. When I seen the response I was getting, I'm like, we're not animals. I know you're fucking lying. Who isn't an animal? Like, I really can't tell. You pay one another to hurt each other. That's literally what I'm saying.
Right.
You pay one another to hurt each other. And then you use religion to hurt one another. That's not animalistic because what? You have to see it physically? I thought tame meant more than just it. And the fact that people just saw hit, I was like, I don't give a shit. Just help the video go viral. I'll explain it once it gets enough traction. With me, like I was like, oh my god, she can't say nothing.
Yeah. I think when tame kind of means like get your shit in check, like hold back ish. Everyone's gonna have their own version of what shit means. So I mean,
It got their fucking attention, so I'm like, good. So I was thinking, like, I'm like, hey, it's not what you gotta try to do. Sit in the house. I paid you this. I did. I mean, that's taming. Like, but I was just like, we'll talk about it, I guess. When well, I'm talking about now with you. So when people look back, I'll be like, I did an interview. Oh, it's true. And we went into the whole, well, we had shit up, so I had to repeat it.
yeah. The world we live in is a difficult one because there's so many different people out there with so many different backgrounds, so many different traumas, so many different ways of thinking and ways of life. There's no way we can ever all be on the same playing field. I really wish we could. It would make life a lot fucking easier, but I just don't see how it is because when parents are parenting their children, they are instilling these values or lack of values. So I honestly believe we need to get to children when they're still children in school. Teach them how to talk about things, teach them about emotions because kids hold so much inside and then it's only a matter of time before they're shooting up a school because they're bullied or they're this or they're that. These kids need to learn how to deal with their feelings and to be able to talk about what's going on. If something's going on at home, you need to know that you can tell somebody and someone is going to help you. Unfortunately, we don't have that in place.
I will say from my experience, these adults don't want to acknowledge their own emotions. How the hell are you going to raise this child to acknowledge theirs? Like, for instance, I had made a post where I said men are telling their children you need to get A's and B's no matter what, through the bully, through this. But you can't even put your emotions to the side and have a conversation with your child's mother. You're not, are you kidding me? You can't even put your emotions to the side to get an A with having a conversation with your child's mother. But you expect this child to go learn from a teacher that probably doesn't respect them or care about how they feel. We don't even do that as adults. We're like, I'm about to get out of here. I don't have to sit here and listen to you. So it's like, there's just not enough reflection. And I can understand you saying, like, I don't think it's going to change. Yeah, because this has been going on since the beginning of time. Because I was trying to study, like, when was it happening? Like, I'm not even going to play that damn game. It was never a time it was, it was a time it was quiet. And nobody was talking about it. That's so funny. Nobody was talking about it. It was all fucking hate. And I'm about to make a big bang about it because, as you said, there's plenty of people around here that are good that can say, like, like, that's what I'm hoping. And I feel like I have to do it because after I felt that pain, oh my God, every time I talk about that, it feels like I'm getting hit with like, even just like, looking back, like that pain and that confusion was just like, it blew my mind. Everything that I thought.
But you were blindsided. Not only did he leave, but then he left with your brother's girlfriend. So, like, whoa, how that?
And then I was praying for believing. I was like, but I think what really hurt me is people was like, you should have known that they were capable of that. That's what really broke me. That people were telling me.
People are capable of a lot. People are capable of love. People are capable of, I mean, everything. Every freaking emotion that's out there. Of course, people are capable of it. You just don't want to think that they'll act on some of that stuff.
Oh.
So, I mean, we're human beings. Well, our minds, sometimes they work on their own, which is scary.
And then, like I said, we were like, you were an escort, and it was just like, so I just felt like, so I got to tell myself I'm always going to have disrespect my whole life, or I got to disrespect myself out. And you know what? That's where I feel like my strength comes in from my childhood, because I'll turn and click into a F you. Who do you think you're talking to? And it's like, no, I'm not going to tell myself I'm confined to this. Or, for instance, I think a man has an experience with another man. Stay there, you're gay. You got conflicted in his identity. What happened in his childhood? It doesn't matter. Stay there. Now you have to name a whole community because you guys keep telling people where they have to stay. Why can't they just have an experience? And nobody's
never let somebody label you. Okay. You are the only one who can say who you are and stay true to yourself. Don't let nobody put no label on you. Because real world, there are no labels. People are people. You're going to do what you got to do to survive. People do it every day. So don't let people put a label on you. That's bullshit.
It is bullshit. You need to stay here. What the hell are you? Like, why do I did that to myself for a long time. I knew myself for a long time. Like, my kids are going to respect me when I get older. I just got to accept it. I'm going to accept I'm going to be a lonely woman. Like, I used to really talk to myself like that. And with an unhealthy way of thinking, and it was definitely thanks to my therapist. I was like, she always hyped me up. She told me, and she's a white woman. And I encourage people to see the opposite race. Because I was saying my race, and I felt like I was still confined. But with her, she brought it. I think I brought a lot of realization in her world as well. And she was like, you went through that? And I'm like, yeah, don't you hear stuff like this? And she's like, no. She was like, so I think we were both mind blown. I didn't believe she had never heard it, and she couldn't believe it, and she was hearing it. You like, I said, yeah, that was totally normal. She was just like, I never asked her, like, hey, I know this session is for me, but are you okay? Because she was really mind blown by, I don't know, she might say, no, I wasn't, but I remember her rubbing her head, and she was like, oh my God, like, she was just, she was mind blown.
I'm just really glad that you did go to therapy because you wanted to better yourself and to clear your head, and that is so important. And if you do see a therapist and it doesn't work for you, find another one. There's so many out there.
Well, don't give up, because I did, when I got to the second one, I remember she was always talking to me and reminding me of my aunt. And I was like, why am I seeing this lady? And I didn't go for 2 years, but I got back into it because I said, let me just make sure I'm not crazy. And I'm very, very, very thankful for her. I was going to say something about her, but I got all kind of in my emotions. But I was very thankful for that woman, and just like helping me understand why I was feeling what I was feeling. Just on the God, just a huge light bulb, a huge light bulb. I mean, I've been seeing her for 6 years, and I go every single week, and I'm always like, hey, do you think I'm trauma dumping? Or she's like, because I think I made a video. They're like, she's trauma dumping. And I was like, am I? And she was like, don't listen to them. You're not trauma dumping. I was like, I want to check in with you because I want to make sure I'm staying in a healthy place and not this mad woman screaming because she got her heart broken. Like, I really just want to help people by sharing everything I went through, and most importantly, amplifying the fact that it's drugs in your brain that's influencing your behavior, because the gene expression has been imbalanced since the beginning of time. I don't know why they call it that. They should just call it the gene output. But yeah, it's everyone's conflicted in their identity, and there is no particular category that I am seeing that is not conflicted in their identity, or they wouldn't feel like they have to be in this category. That says right there, you're conflicted. You feel like you have to identify by this label to say you're somebody.
Right. So you wrote the book, Am I Thinking Correctly?
Yes. You see why? Yes. Yeah.
Is that out now?
Yes, it is out. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Released it March 18th. So yeah, it dives into what I was thinking on a biochemistry level, a psychological level, and then spirit. How I always was in tune with, I'll say, spirituality. And yeah, it goes into more details and everything I just discussed. But the whole point is that sometimes people do need to look at somebody's life in order to have a reflection of themselves. And I'm very honest in everything I went through, down to me being confused about which dad this was, and just overall, I feel like a lot of topics are talked about more on a deep level rather than just watching it on TV for entertainment.
Right. Well, good. I mean, hopefully that can give somebody a mirror or reflection to look into themselves to see what it is that they've been through.
Yeah, and acknowledge it, I'll say. Because they keep telling us move on, that's life. And it's like, I don't think anybody's moving on. We're just all numbers. Where's numbers?
That's the truth, though, too. That 110%. That's what
Yeah.
America does. We band-aid, and then we blow up later and don't know why.
I know. Well, we hold up a damn sign like, live your life, don't stay in that way. No, there has to be more to life from that. Yeah, the whole point of this, every time I open my mouth, is just to help unite everybody. It's so many barriers, and we're literally all going through the same thing. And I think everyone's tired of numbing. They just don't know how to have a fucking. No, if people are having a conversation, they're not talking. Ending. Well, no, that is
Right. Absolutely. I had a guy on my show. He said something that really made me think. He said, people hear it, but they don't listen. And I was like, ooh,
makes you think.
that, like, yeah, like people, they hear you, they're not listening. And I was like,
Sorry, I just want
huh?
to use context to that. So they always say in one ear, out the other, over your head. And so people should know how strong the brain is. And the thing is, if you don't have any healthy ways of releasing the drugs in your brain is blocking out every single thing that it basically hears, unless it's going to help release the drug in the brain. So if you have a healthy way of releasing the drug in your brain, then you can think more clearly, hear. That's why they say to exercise, be healthy. They're telling you all that to help you with your brain. People just don't understand why. Because yes, if you are not releasing that drug in a healthy way, your brain will override your frontal lobe because it doesn't give a shit unless it's telling you high.
Right, right. I also talk about like just being present. Like we were talking about like school shootings, and this guy said he had like a gun in the car, and there was a bunch of people who were there that were hearing it, but only one person really listened to what he said and then went and reported it. Everyone else was just like, so
anyway, Mary, your home take care of these kids. Like, I hope you know, like, I don't put some gas. Everyone's fucking autopilot. Like, why? What? You know, just completely. I don't even know if it's subconscious. I don't know. Based on my life, I don't know if it was subconscious or completely unconscious. I think it was more towards the unconscious side because I'm like, what the hell?
if somebody wanted to find you on social media, what's the best platform?
The best platform, I'm going to say Instagram. Instagram is the best platform. It's my first and last name. I don't know if you'll put my name in there if I should spell it. Okay. So, yeah. It's,
I'll put all the I will put all the links in the show notes.
I didn't do that. What happens? But, okay. Yeah. I feel like Instagram was a good place. Definitely. I feel like the information is very thought provoking. I don't think you're going to like it, which is good because that means we're sending a shockwave. Or you're already going to be conscious of it and say, oh, I know exactly what's happening here. But yeah, and my book is Am I Thinking Correctly? I understand finance sometimes, so you actually will get it for free if you download it on Kindle. It's free.
Oh, everybody loves freebie.
Yeah, I want to make sure they read it. Oh, the money will come. Y'all need to raise this book.
I love that. Love that. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
We should go around and chant, all soldiers deactivate in the name of God. Everyone's saying, stop, don't do that. Nobody's listening. The soldiers hold the power. And everyone's talking about slavery. I can't imagine what they have to go through. We see the effects of having a war. And I think that people should say, soldiers deactivate in the name of God. That's simple. I don't believe in protest. I don't know if people say, well, we're out here because Jasmina said, there is technology. Don't be fogging up streets saying I did. You hop while you're following a computer. Fogging up traffic and just you can also deactivate that God, close your phone, go back to work. Everybody ain't got to hear you screaming and yelling. It's too hot. It's the summer.
There you go. That's freaking hilarious.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It is too hot, girl. Well, I want to thank you for being here. Yeah. I think somebody is going to get something out of this. Open your eyes and work on yourself. It's never too late to rebuild yourself.
Exactly, because you don't want your kids saying, my mom does this. It's better to hear my mom used to do this. We don't want to hear used to, but at least we know it's past tense. It's not who you are today. So keep that in mind. They might say you used to do it, but key word is used to.
Amen. Yes. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to follow, rate, and review. It helps more survivors find our community. Do you want to be part of the conversation and share your story? Visit truecrimeconnections.com. Until next time, be safe, be seen, and never forget, your story has power.